is Dolores Miguel, and this is my Authortube Newbie Tag. I'm going to also do the Authortube Newbie Tag 2.0, and if I can smush the videos together, I will. But last time I filmed one of these, Authortube was being mean to me and wouldn't let me, so I might post two newbie tags, one being the old one and one being the new one, because I kind of like things from both of them, so I wanted to do both. And I'm going to be reading from my notebook if I'm looking down. So, question number 1. How did you find out about Authortube? So, I found Authortube through Alexa Dunn, just kind of looking for inspiration, and I found her video because I was, again, looking for inspiration, but also because I got her debut novel in a book box, and I just wanted to look up who she was, and then from there it kind of just spiraled into finding a bunch of people who were on YouTube talking about writing, showing their writing process, and so forth. Question number 2, what genres do you write in? So I'm mostly writing in fantasy and sci-fi. I was writing a contemporary, new adult themed-ish book, but I've kind of put that on the back burner, almost shelved, because I realized that it was too real and I got bored. Where a little bit after that, I started writing this fantasy book that I'm still writing and extremely excited, and just the fantasy aspect of it and getting to create the world myself is what's driving me to continue going forward. So, question number 3 is, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category of story? My preferred writing tense and is kind of a mix, because sometimes tenses still confuse me, honestly. But I guess third person limited, where you can still see the overall someone telling the story, but you're following one person, versus first person view where you only see what that character is seeing, and you don't get to have the story view. When I was growing up and I was making stories in my head, it was always me narrating the thing. So I really enjoyed the narration part and then having the aspect of the character, which I'm pretty sure is the third person limited. I could be wrong which third person it is, but that's the gist. My preferred category of story would probably be adult, new adult-ish. I don't know if I will write a young adult. I do enjoy reading young adult, but I'm still having a hard time figuring out the difference and distinguishing the difference between new adult and old adult, new adult and young adult, besides the age and how far you can take romances and stuff like that. I watched Alexa Dunn with her podcast when they talked about the differences and stuff, and it still partially confuses me, because when I think of a romance, I want it to be fulfilled, and sometimes I feel like in young adult, I know it's because it's for a younger audience, and this just could be because I'm older now, that hitch where fading to dark and things like that, it doesn't exude excitement, because I know that's as far as it's going to go. It's not going to continue on and go forward, it's always going to be the insinuation that something happened or something's going on or they did this and did that. And I like to see it fulfilled. I like to be able to be in that experience. And again, it could just be because I'm older now versus when I was in high school and middle school reading what our versions of young adult and teen were. And I was completely fine with those aspects. Then, maybe. I'm not sure. I have a lot of ideas for books besides the two that I'm currently working on that I could make them into young adult. I have that option, but I'm not. They're still in idea phase, and I'm not ready yet to go there. So, question number 4. Are you a plotter, pantser, or plantser? And I would say I'm more of a pantser, the in between. I at first thought that I was a plantser all the way, and then I realized watching more videos, I tried some of the plotting aspects of writing, and I got really annoyed because I was like, I'm just writing the book in parts, and it was really annoying. And I was like, I just want to write, but then I didn't have a roadmap to follow, and I found that I can put a bare bones outline of these are the spots that I want to hit, that I need to hit in order to make the story flow. But they're usually 1 or 2 lines, and then that's it. I don't get further into what those sections are, just the 1 or 2 sentences. That's it. And then from there, I can check back on that ladder outline. I think online someone had called it kind of like a tripod outline, where it's you need those basic foundations just to keep the tent up. I check in on those, and then I just continue reading. It's not so detailed where it's take this block and put it in and then write something to connect it to the next block, which is what I feel a lot of other plotting references do, where it's here, and then you sew it together with other things to the next block. And that is just irritating to me. So I can't do those. Question number 5. I'm using a different hand, sorry. Are you self-published, published, or yet to be published? So I'm yet to be published. I haven't published anything, sent anything out to query. I haven't finished a book yet. Well, I did finish a short story that I had a teacher tell me once that instead of submitting it to a contest that I had written it for, that I should expand it into a series because it was so rich and she had so many questions, and she could see where I could pull things out and make whole stories from it. And I never submitted it to that contest. And it's also kind of in a back burner, not shelved, but back burner, where in order to do that, I have to do a lot of research before then. So that's why it's kind of there, because I'm interested, but there's a lot of research that I have to do for that, and I'm not ready to dedicate so much time to that story. But I love it. Question number 6. What publication company, literary agent, or printing company are you represented by or use? If not, what is your dream one? So I don't really have a dream company. I never thought about that until I started watching more of the Authortube videos and realizing, some people want to be attached to a particular place. So I guess if I had to pick one, because I've seen other Authortubers where they aren't sure either and they just kind of just pick one. So if I had to pick one, I guess Scholastic, because those are the ones that hold the fairs. And even though I'm not writing a children's book, I really support that the bringing books to children. I did not have a lot of money growing up, and a lot of my reading came from the library. But if I did get a book, usually it was through the catalogs or the book fair that Scholastic sends out to schools, because they're usually cheaper than buying the book from the library. From the bookstore, excuse me. So they really helped me in being able to continue reading when I normally wouldn't have had the opportunity to, because I came from a lower income family. So I guess I would pick that, but again, I don't know, because I'm writing 2 adult books right now, and that I'm not writing a book that would be part of a book fair, but I support them in what they do. So I don't know. I know they have partners, so maybe I could be with one of their partners. Number 7. Nope, not enough hands. What Authortube related video can you expect to find on your channel? So I work at one of my local hospitals, which is partially why I'm redoing this video. I had originally done an Authortube Newbie Tag /2.0 at the end of February, and I was going to put it out in March, because I was going to go to our local book festival, the Festival of Books in Tucson, Arizona, because I live just outside of the city. And I was going to do a vlog of that. And I'm also just going to do vlogs in general. I really enjoy watching and listening to people's vlogs and their experience, because I feel like vlogs are very honest, because you're in that moment. And I know we can edit down a lot of things and take a lot of things out, but I feel like vlogs are so raw and less edited, and you feel more like you're part of that experience. To me, at least that's how I feel. So I want to do that, because I also feel like it will push me to write more. I'm restarting my writing process right now because of the coronavirus. I kind of shut down a little bit. The work got really stressful and really intense, and things got chaotic at the hospital. And I'm writing a darker story, at least my main fantasy one is, and I couldn't be in that world and be in this real world when it was getting really dark and scary also. And I kind of just pushed everything aside. I didn't want to have anything to do with the writing. I even really stopped reading. I stopped watching a lot of the Authortube videos, because I didn't want to hear anybody talk about the virus in their daily vlogs. And I'm catching up on everyone's vlogs, and everyone was really actually good about maybe referencing it, but they didn't really talk about it. They wanted to have their zone stress-free, which if I had known that, I wouldn't have stopped watching them. But of course, that's not something I would have known unless I watched it. And I really just moved away from all of that. And mid-May, I started feeling a lot better as we got a pause in cases, and the reflection of how everyone was being distant and stuff slowed down the amount of patients we had. So I've now come back, and I had started missing it. My mind started getting preoccupied with stories just popping up randomly in my head, and started getting distracted. And my husband noticed, because he knew I wasn't writing, and he could tell I was being distracted because I was in my mind, even though I wasn't actually writing anything out. Besides that, I also get scribbler boxes, and I usually open them, take pictures of the contents, and put them on my Instagram. And my thinking is if I'm going to have this video YouTube, that I can start opening them on my channel also. So I would have vlogs of me writing, and then also a Scribbler box unboxing also. So those are the two things, mainly the vlogs, which would be part of the channel. I would probably post 2 to 1 vlog a month, because the vlogs would probably be bi-weekly vlogs, because I feel like I don't write enough, and I'm working so much, especially now, even more than I was earlier, that I feel like I wouldn't have enough content to do like a weekly vlog. If that changes and this pushes me to write even more, I might do like a weekly vlog then. But as of right now, just a bi-weekly vlog with a Scribbler blocks, wow, thrown in there. So that's my plan. Question number 8. I'm going to stop doing the fingers. When did you start writing? So I started writing more seriously sometime in middle school. And I quickly gave up and got extremely frustrated with myself, because that's when I kind of hit my wall in school. So I have dyslexia, and it's not as real hardcore as some other people who have dyslexia, but I really struggled with spelling and sentence structure and hearing what people are saying and translating that into correct words. And I gave up, even though I really wanted to write and I enjoyed it, and I continued to make like stories in my head, and I had half written ideas in notebooks all the time. But because it was so difficult for me to write it and know that this word is spelled wrong and this word is spelled wrong, I didn't know how to spell a word, but I knew that it was wrong, and it bothered me, and feeling like I could never show it to anybody because it's full of so many errors and so many spelling mistakes that no one would even understand that I was writing. I just gave up. Then in high school, I met a wonderful English teacher my freshman year. She's kind of become a good friend of mine now. And she let me use my laptop in class, not just like typing things at home and bringing it to school typed. She actually let me bring my laptop in and use it to take notes and be functional. And I got more comfortable with word processor and more comfortable with spell check and being able to look up things from Google if spell check still didn't understand what I was saying. And because of that, I started writing again. And I started writing poems at the time. And when she saw those, she saw that I guess I was good at it, you could say. And she really nourished and fed my love of writing and got me back into it. And she was very open and very willing to constantly read everything. Even if I just made changes and edits on a couple of paragraphs she'd already read, she was willing to reread it. Anytime I wrote another chapter, she was willing to reread it. And she never got tired of doing that. And it really made me realize that somebody could enjoy my writing and get something out of it. And I have the tools to help me do that now. So that's when I started writing. And then that's when I really seriously considered writing. I almost even went to school to write, get a degree in creative writing. But I decided that I needed a job that could give me a solid income and make sure that I was comfortable, at least in life, and that writing could just tag along with me. So that's where that was at now. Question number 9 states, what was the first story that you worked on? So the first real story was that story in high school that teacher started writing. And it was, I still have it. And that would be like a young adult book. It was a story inspired by me being in high school, and actually was a little bit inspired by Princess Diaries of, a young high school girl finding out that she's royalty, but not just regular royalty, that she's magical royalty. Though she doesn't find that out until later in the story because it's secret. Magic is a secret in our world because everyone else seems normal, but magic actually lives and thrives in a secret part of the world, and that's where she would need to go rule because she's one of the last blood relatives of the reigning kingdom, where the current king and queen had never had a child, and she plus a couple of her cousins are the only blood relatives left. Now, the only catch is between her and her cousins that come and that are come to, they need to prove, without realizing they have to prove it, that they are magically inclined, because the only way they could come rule a magical kingdom is if they have magic. And obviously up to this point, she never knew she had magic. So it's that journey of, does she not? How does she unlock this? And can she even command justly and caringly and have that open heart to be a ruler? And that story was very much influenced by what I was going through in high school currently. To me, it sounds silly now, but I honestly made changes midway based off of my relationship with one of my boyfriends at the time, which was really silly now. I don't know if when I go back, if I would keep that or if I would change that more. But yeah, that was my first real story that I started writing in high school. I had the idea in middle school, but it never made it past idea point. Because like I said, I had given up on writing at that point. Question 10 is, what authors have inspired your writing the most? So when I post this, I know that this comment is still probably controversial a little bit, but I was inspired first by J.K. Rowling and C.S. Lewis. They were two of my favorite authors where I loved their series. I have other children's books that I enjoyed, but I don't connect them to the author. I'm just that book is what I love. And their writings gave me so much and let me hold on to so much that it inspires me to write, to be like them, to be able to create worlds that are so rich and beautiful and vivid and expansive. And you can just know that you could be in that world and be easily a part of it. It doesn't even matter. Especially with C.S. Lewis, where first Diggory and Polly coming in are just regular kids, but they witness to a whole creation of a world and help start it. And then the children, Edmund and Lucy and Susan and Peter, continuing off, realizing that they can rule and that they can be there for Narnia. And even when they come back, even though they kind of don't start back at zero and they have to learn things, but they have to rebuild what they lost by going back home. And those are lessons that they carry on forward. In the same light with Harry and Hermione and Ron and even Draco. And we've grown up with them and we learn things about them. I remember when book 6 was going to come out and the controversy of Severus Snape. You grew up hating this character. And I know hate is a strong word, but we all felt that way until we learned about his past, until we realized what he was doing. And then by book 7, and you see even more of him, you realize that even though he was kind of an ass, he was an ass because of his circumstances. If he had grown up in a different way, he could have been a very different person. Or if he had not ruined a friendship, he could have been shaped into a different way. He didn't have to have been such a broken-hearted character, but that's what he was. But his core was still something that cared, which is why, at the end, Dumbledore is like, I think that we sort children too early. That idea of, do you really know who you are at 11 versus later in life and after you've grown? So those ideas and stories and building of such rich worlds is what really inspires me to want to write, because I want to be in that world with my characters, journeying with them, or being that character when you have like a really good first person written work. Question number 11. Do you schedule your writing sessions, or simply get to writing whenever you can and find the time? So kind of like I said earlier about what you can expect from me, I'm definitely going to write in between work. I work 12 hours at the hospital. When I come home, I just want to sleep. And when I wake up, I have to help my husband get ready for work because he leaves before me. And then I have to finish getting ready to then go to work. And I work the night shift. So I work all night and then come home in the morning. So I stay on a night shift schedule. I do not switch over unless I absolutely have to for whatever situation it is. So a lot of these videos are going to be recorded at night, and hopefully I will always have good lighting. Right now I have a lamp behind my phone to have good lighting because the lighting in my bedroom actually sucks. The lighting in our new apartment sucks a lot. So I'm going to have to jimmy a lot of things to make sure that these videos have good light, because I do film at night most likely. It's summer, so I might be able to get some sunlight because I might film in like the late afternoon or early evening. But honestly, my blinds are always closed. My curtains are always closed. Our house is baseline very dim. I don't interact with the sun a lot. So it might never have real lighting, honestly. Just because I am a night person. I am a vampire, as my father says. So there's that. Because of that, I will only be writing on my days off. And right now, I'm working almost 4 days every week. I want to do this, and I want to continue doing these videos, even though I learned the first time that editing is actually really hard and takes a lot of time. But I want to do it because I do enjoy making the stories on Instagram. I just don't like that they disappear and that it's just a short amount of time. So we'll see. Question 12. Do you type on a computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or use a blend of those? And when do you write in general? So, like I said earlier, I'm sorry, my allergies. Like I said earlier, I write on the computer because that is what I've learned can allow me to write and be my security blanket for words and things that I don't know. I also, now that I do a little bit of plotting, my like skeleton ladder, whatever you want to call it, thing that it is. I do that handwritten. I handwrite the plot points. I also handwrite all my background and world building aspects. That I write what my characters are and the descriptions, kind of like a, what do people call it? Like a character, like, I forget, there's a word for them, but it's like the breakdown of the character, like how they look and what they act like, and because I use magic, what their magical ability is, all that breakdown. Plus, again, because my main story is magical, I have to have the whole world building of like how the magic structure works, kind of like a world Bible. I don't know if I'd call it that. I don't know if it's that detailed. I don't know. But I write all of that out by hand before I start typing. Or sometimes I will type a little bit and then do the world building. And then I already said when I write in general, which is at night because that's my life. Question number 13. What are you most looking forward to now that you are part of Authortube? So what I'm most looking forward to, which I accidentally started doing, I accidentally started doing by, who knows, commenting on videos, is making friends that know about writing. I have a friend who is amazing and she's wonderful, but she doesn't get any of the writing. She has a very mathematical brain and she is a nerd too. And, you know, we both love Harry Potter and we get the whole nerd jokes that we pass back and forth. But she's very like analytical, math, logical person, where I'm more of the like creative side person. And I know that she wouldn't mind reading some of my work, but that's where that ends. So she can't give me a critical thinking of how the story works as a writer, from a writer's point of view. And that's what I really want to happen. I really want to enjoy is what Authortube gives people, in the sense of finding people that are like you and that know what you're going through in your experience and your struggle with writing and getting mad and upset and feeling that joy of finally finishing and having people read it and being like, this person likes what I'm writing. I really want to be in that community. And I've had a little bit of it, mostly through Instagram and commenting on posts. April K, who is a really nice person, we started to kind of, not necessarily writing, even though I did comment on her videos. I haven't commented recently because I just caught up on videos for her. She was like one of the first people I started watching again. We bonded over the peppermint mocha frappuccino Starbucks because we both really like it. And I told her that. And then from there, we started talking off and on a little bit. And I really enjoyed that communication, even though it didn't start off with writing, but we have commented on things back and forth before. And I really enjoy that aspect of the community and everyone being able to be cheerleaders, but also helpers and like a support system, and then someone who can give you critical feedback at the same time. I really enjoy that. And I want to be a part of that experience. So that's what I'm looking forward to in Authortube. So that's the last question for the Authortube Newbie Tag. And if I'm able to smush these videos together, you will see this part of the video. I'm sorry. If not, then you will see the second half in another video. So see you guys later, I guess. I'm gonna try to do Camp NaNoWriMo in July, because obviously I didn't do April because my world would not allow that at the time, even though I had planned to. I will be trying to do it. I'm probably gonna set a really small goal because I don't want to make myself feel bad if I can't reach the goal because of work. And next time, whether I should be getting my scribbler box soon, so the next video might be my scribbler box, depending on how long it takes me to edit this video, which I might try to edit tomorrow or Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday are my main weekends, because those are my husband's days off, and I try to make sure I have those days off at least, so that we can spend time together and get, chores done like on a regular weekend. So I will see if I can get this video edited tomorrow or Wednesday. So we'll see what happens. If that's the case, then probably after these 2 videos, because I really do feel like it's gonna be a 2-video intro, that my next one will probably be my scribbler box, and then my first vlog will most likely be the beginning of camp, which, yeah, we'll see. So until next time, I guess, I will see you guys later, whoever's watching this. Bye.